continuation of a chapter, Interdependence of Living Beings, Plants and Animals. Today we will be focusing completely on food chain. Now, when we talk about food chain, we can observe the interdependence among living beings. As you already know that interdependence is a term that indicates the relationship between things. So, now when we talk about food chain, we can observe the interdependence between or interdependence among living things. So, food chain is formed by a series of organisms in which one organism depends on another for food, or how food passes from one organism to another. There are something we have to keep in mind when we discuss about food chain. The first is producers. So when I say producers, we call plant as producers because they are in the beginning of the food chain and they are the ones who produce the food. Then we have primary consumers. Herbivores play the role of primary consumers. Herbivores will feed on these producers, so they are called as primary consumers. So you know that herbivores are those who eat only plants. Then we have the carnivores, which form the next group. You know that carnivores eat herbivores, so that is why they are called as secondary consumers. As you know that carnivores are those living beings who eat only meat. These secondary consumers indirectly depend on plants for food. Because without plants, herbivores cannot exist. So that is why carnivores indirectly depend on plants for food. Then we have the last group called as decomposers. Examples for decomposers are bacteria and fungi. As you know, these bacteria and fungi feed on dead and decaying plant and animal. And they help in releasing nutrients for soil. So they are called as decomposers. So food chains start with the producers, that is plants. Plants produce food and are being eaten by animals who are further eaten by bigger animals. Decomposers are the last stage of food chain. Now let's see some examples of food chain. Here we have fish which feed on seaweeds. Then man eats fish. Another interesting food chain, we have corn is eaten by rat. Then rat is eaten by snake and snake is eaten by an eagle. On a larger scale, we can observe interdependence of producers, consumers and decomposers in a food chain. So let me show you how we have the producers, consumers and decomposers. They depend on each other for their food. First we have producer, which is nothing but plants. The plant is being eaten by herbivore, that is goat, which is a primary consumer. The primary consumer, which goat, is eaten by lion, which is the secondary consumer, and it is a carnivore. And all these three, that is producer, the primary consumer and the secondary consumer, once they die, they get eaten up by decomposers. So decomposers break down all the nutrients and also help in releasing nutrients back to the soil, which is used by the producers. So you can see how this is like a big chain of relation. That is why it is called as a food chain. So with this, we will stop our class till here for today. I will see you all in our next class. Thank you.